Welcome to this new podcast. In this podcast, we are going to discuss about what should be the strategy of a student who has already written JEE Mains 1. How to handle boards, what kind of exams to write, how to prepare for those exams. We are going to dive deep into all of these topics. And today we have with us Puran sir and Nivedita ma'am to help us out in this discussion. Welcome, Puran sir and Nivedita ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hello.
Ma'am, at this point of time, since the student are going to the first exam after JEE Mains 1 would be boards. So what should be the mindset of a student at this point of time? What should they focus on according to you?
For board examination.
Like
So,
what board
general,
exam is the next exam. So at this point of time, what do you
yeah.
think? There will be a lot of thoughts going in his mind, right?
Hmm.
Like he might be
See,
thinking
abhi,
कि JEE means too अच्छा कर लेता हूँ. He might be thinking कि अच्छा boards में भी तो 75% marks I will require.
yeah, exactly.
So
So,
how to handle this?
hmm,
Please go.
main focus should be boards for some
Okay.
days.
Okay.
If the students have no idea how to do, yeah, how to write the answers
Okay.
in the board examination, so they should focus on board examination. But if
Fine.
they have some idea, if they practice well during the whole year and all, so yes, they can manage their time. They can give some time to the JEE preparation, and then they can give some time to the board preparation,
Hmm.
right? And
Hmm.
for the board preparation, I just recommend ki like they have to solve variety of sample papers, at least solve 10 sample papers, right? So
Hmm.
they can solve papers from together with, right? We have so many books, Oswald publication books. So they have to sit for 3 hours and just try to solve questions and try to see how the answers are written, right, in the sample paper. Because
Hmm.
key points, they should not miss the key point. In
Hmm.
if they want to get good marks, right?
Hmm.
75%, ultimately they should score 75% marks at least, right?
Hmm.
To for JEE Advanced. So
Hmm.
it's just key, yes, they should focus on the key points mainly
Got
for
it.
board examination.
So what you're saying is
Yeah,
basically board is the priority at this point of time. Getting 75% marks should be the basic priority that should be in front of everyone.
yeah,
Those who are already sure that I will get more than that and I can have some part of JEE preparation going on in between. Others should stick to the idea of boards primarily.
yeah.
Puran said anything more
Again,
that you want to
yeah,
add?
I think it depends upon the student, right? If suppose if they
Okay.
perform really well in their pre-boards, suppose they
Okay.
have scored
Hmm.
90% marks in their pre-boards, they don't have to worry about the actual board exams because the question
Okay.
will be similar, right? And what they can do at this point and just focus on last 5 years PYQs. That is sufficient
Okay.
for boards.
Okay.
Hmm.
Apart from this, again, if they have written JEE main well, like they have
Mm-hmm.
the idea how they have written, right? If they have, they're pretty confident that they are going to score say above 99 percentile. Yes, they can directly start preparing for JEE Advance.
JEE
Okay.
Advanced.
Fine. So
Hmm.
fundamentally, what you're trying to say is where you are at this point of time. Based on that, you should make a decision.
Yes.
And the
Hmm.
important criteria should be how you are performing in the pre-board exam and how you
Hmm.
think you have performed in mains one.
Yeah.
So you should be on to the response sheet whenever you get the response sheet from the side of JEE.
Hmm.
You should jump on it. You should understand what your position is and make a strategy accordingly.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? I would like to add 1 or 2 points more in this discussion. See, what happens at this point of time is the student think that JEE means is the last exam of my preparation journey. But
Hmm.
it is other way around. This is the first examination in a marathon of exams that they are going to write in the next 3 to 4 months.
Hmm.
So rather than taking it with a lot of emotions, they should take it very rationally. This is the first examination that they have actually real examination that they have written. So they have got a lot of feedback about themselves. Like they might have understood that what is my weak point. So their weak point, like one of the students I was discussing, he is not particularly a bad student, but getting somewhere on 150 marks. He could have easily scored
Hmm.
200 marks. His problem is
Hmm.
that his calculation is not good in mathematics because most of the times he never solved a lot of papers before going into JEE Mains.
Hmm.
If he could have done a lot of time-based practice in mathematics, he could got at least 10 more questions right because he knew all the 25 questions. It is just that whenever he will solve a question, the answers will not match. But
Hmm.
at the same time, he has done his JEE board pre-board preparation really well. He's confident that in whatever gaps that are there, even if I give some amount of time, I will be able to cover things up.
Hmm.
So for him, despite getting less percentile in JEE Mains, I will recommend going for JEE advanced preparation.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, if I add things up, and you can also check my calculation, he would have somewhere around more than 106 days, 100 days, 106 days to be precise. At this point of time, that will amount to somewhere around 15 weeks. to do the preparation. So then that student can make a 15-week strategy. That strategy could have two parts in it. One part should be to think about how to accommodate for JEE means 2, because definitely you will want a better percentile. So working where you lost the marks, because those areas, like for example, if knowledge was my point, then probably knowledge. If calculation was my point, then probably calculation. If revision was my issue, then revision. And along with that, dividing at least considering 70% syllabus. So we have a very good weightage file we can share in the description. In that, it talks about what is the weightage of different topics in JEE Advanced. To focus on 70% syllabus, that will mean 13 topics in mathematics, 10 topics in physics, and 15 topics in chemistry. Divide it into a 15 weeks time period. And then prepare it. So how to prepare will come on when we tackle the advanced part of this discussion. But fundamentally, it depends on how we are able to understand ourselves by writing this first attempt. I think that should be the biggest takeaway rather than percentiles, etc. Because there are enough exams to be cracked for everybody. So even if you are not scoring very well, it is not something heartbreaking. It is just that you have understood what you need to do in the next few months. If you can keep your head up and fight towards it, you might be able to get very good marks. And even if you think that I won't be able to clear any exam, focusing on board and getting very good percentage, there is also a good achievement. Before this engineering exams came, this was the only achievement that people used to have. We forget that somehow. So I think what Nita ma'am said and you said, just my contribution is one more small point, that students should think in this direction, that this is one exam in the marathon of exams. Figuring out one or two exams that they can really score well will give them a lot of motivation to plan their life ahead.
Yes.
Of course, board exam is going to be important because at least they will require 75% marks to get into any government college in India. Okay, now we have done a separate, those who don't know, we have done a separate webinar for a podcast in which we have talked about all the aspects of board preparation. So in case you want to catch it up, we'll put a link in the description. You can go and watch that as well. Now the next question that we have is, let us say that if I am a student who wants to go with JEE means preparation, JEE means 2 along with boards, then how should I manage it? So Puran sir, can you take this question up?
Yeah, again, right. So again, if you have written your JEE mains quite well, so what you can do, so at parallelly with board exams, you can just try to solve the JEE1 paper, right? JEE mains 1 papers.
Okay.
They're going to be released in a week's time. So once you get those papers, try to solve questions, try to get some insight from where maximum number of questions are being asked in JEE mains, and try to strengthen those areas. And anyway, like in JEE mains too, the cutoff will increase slightly, right? So I would say if you're getting 99 percentile for 200 marks in JEE main 1, in the second attempt, it will be increased by 20 marks, I think, around 20 marks. So, right. So that's why, so you have to further strengthen your those areas from where maximum numbers of questions are coming in the exam. So the idea is you have to prepare parallelly for JEE mains 2 and boards.
Okay, fine. Got it. And this is for a student whose whose board preparation is up to a certain level. Of course, the student should do it.
Yes, yes.
Nivedita ma'am, anything more that you will want to add?
No, that's it only. If the student is doing good in pre-board examination and all, then they should focus on the JEE mains exam. If the JEE mains 1 is not as per their expectation, right?
Okay.
So this is the thing. That's it. I don't think so. I should add more point to this discussion.
Fine, understood. So this is simple, like we all believe on the similar idea that focus on the board part. If you have sorted it out, then do this. One thing for board is basically do write PYQs. If you haven't done PYQ, make sure that whether you are preparing for JEE means 2 or not, do write PYQs. Solve all the PYQs because questions will
even we have sample papers on CBSE website. So there are some sample papers, so they can solve those sample papers in order to get the insight of board examination.
Got it. Now, can you guys give me a little bit more insight that what should be the time distribution on a daily basis or between the exam, that as a student, if I'm preparing, how should I divide my day into these two parts? Like what exactly should be done at the level of board and what exactly should be done at the level of JEE? Jay, you told me that one Puran sir told us is basically whatever Gen attempt 1 papers were there that you can solve.
Hmm.
that you
And
can solve.
any other insights that I can think, like if I'm designing a day, then
Hmm.
I should look into
Student
it.
can focus on the weak areas, right?
Hmm.
Weak topics, right? So because this is the high time, they can focus very well on the weak areas, yeah, weak topics.
Hmm.
Suppose they're not
And
getting.
this would be especially important in chemistry because it is high
Yeah,
scoring.
chemistry, yeah. The point is that ki, like if they are not able to do questions from the biomolecules chapter or from organic chemistry, then they
Hmm.
should start solving those questions. And if they give only 1 hour, right, per day, then they can get good marks in JEE Mains too.
Got it.
So in the month of February, they can at least spend 1 hour for
One
chemistry,
hour to
right?
2 hour, 1 hour on chemistry if you
Yeah,
spend on.
1 hour to 2 hour. Yeah, 1 hour, 2 hour. Matlab, they can divide in that way. Ki one day if they are doing chemistry, the next day they can do physics, then next day they can do maths, right? Because they
Okay.
don't have much time. Because if they solve many questions from the board examination and also they get more confidence. And once the board exam gets over now, because they don't have time in between board examination and JEE Mains too.
J mains too.
So yes, yeah, they don't have time. So this is the high time, and they should decide on their own, right?
Got it.
That we
Hmm.
cannot decide for them, but yes, they should decide on their own.
Got
If
it.
some topics are very weak, so just do it right away.
Hmm.
If the topics are not weak, so just do some questions, just practice questions daily. Like they can solve like 2 mock tests or 1 mock test, right,
Hmm.
daily, and then
Hmm.
focus their studies on, focus their everything on the board examination.
Got it. Got it. Puran sir, anything else
Hmm.
that you want to add
Yeah.
at the
So
level
for
of physics?
students who want to perform well in board as well as in JEE main too, right? For them,
Hmm.
Hmm.
so what they can do, so at least like revise the compendiums which they have prepared for
Okay.
JEE
Yeah,
mains,
yeah.
right? Every day they have to do that, and at least write one JEE mains mock test
Hmm.
every
One mock test.
once a
Yeah.
week at least.
Once a week.
And
Okay.
parallelly, yeah, so parallelly they have to like practice questions from the JEE mains one papers. That
Got
is the
it.
bare
Hmm.
minimum that they can do along with boards.
Got it. Understood.
Hmm.
Understood. So if I summarize, basically what we will want to do in physics and chemistry is, one, is you revise your short notes in the morning. Give 1 hour to that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Give
Hmm.
1 hour or 2 hours, whatever time you can give based on your whatever your board preparation allow on solving questions. Those questions can be primarily from Gen attempt one.
Hmm.
And at least once in a week or twice in a week, how much whatever time you can take out, write mock test papers. More
Yeah.
important thing is maintain consistency because you do not have lot of time between the board exams and JEE attempt two.
Hmm.
Yeah.
In mathematics, I would like to add one more thing. See, in mathematics, rather than going for the weak areas, go for the strong areas. Because
Hmm.
this year also, when I'm discussing with the student, their main problem is sometimes, like most of the times, they knew how to solve a question. Because of the complex calculation, they were not able to come up with answers. So if I
Hmm.
focus on few topics and try and prepare them really well, I might be able to get 10 questions right in the paper. And that would be more
Hmm.
than enough for most of the students. For the students trying for top ranks, and even if they get 15 16 questions right, it would be more than enough. So you have number of questions to play in the exam, unlike physics and chemistry. So if you focus on your strengths rather than weaknesses in mathematics, it is going to pay off. In
Hmm.
physics and chemistry, they can focus on weaknesses, right?
Because questions are basically very simple or easy questions, right?
Yes,
In
yes. So
chemistry
in
and
physics and
physics.
chemistry, it makes
Generally,
sense.
yeah.
In mathematics, it
Yeah.
needs to be the opposite strategy.
Even in this year in mathematics, the questions are lengthy, not tough. They are lengthy.
Hmm.
Yes, they are in the. So what happens is basically students are not doing time-based practice.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
solve PYQs, but most of the times when they're solving PYQs, they're taking all the time in the world. Also, when they're
Right.
solving the question, they're not going till the answer. So even if you know that this is how the question will happen, you won't be able to come up with an answer, and hence you can't put that option and can't get the marks out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, and this has been the same scenario for the last 3 4 years now. So after
Hmm.
2019, this has been the trend. And this is going to be there. So if you can be very specific of what you are studying and what kind of questions you can choose in the exam that are
Hmm.
doable enough, then your problem is sorted. Like last year
Yeah.
also, we were able to improve the percentile of a student from 90 to 99, and just by following this strategy that prepare for 15 questions worth syllabus.
Hmm.
Try and get 10 questions right in the exam and give time to all of your time, that 1 hour, 1.5 hour, whatever you are doing in mathematics, only to those 10 questions. Solve it
Hmm.
nicely at your own pace, get the answer right.
Hmm.
And this is a short strategy that works in mathematics.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Now, what are the other engineering exams? Because let us say that now we are through this board period and mains
Hmm.
2 will come after that. So at this point of time, what kind of other exams are there that the student should also focus on along with JEE means too. Puran sir, can you talk about it like a little bit?
So I think they should definitely prepare for bit set,
Yeah,
Okay.
bit set.
right?
Hmm.
So and VIT, triple E, VIT is also there, so they can
Okay.
also prepare for that exam.
Hmm.
And apart from this, IIT is also there
IIT
for
would be very
ISS.
choosy.
If
Yeah.
they want to get into research, they can opt for that particular exam.
Hmm. Hmm. Got it. Anything else, Nivedita ma'am, that you will want to add to the discussion?
I guess matlab, these are the important exams, right? They should focus on, and if they focus on these exams, then they can crack other exams very well. Matlab, they can give university level exams also, right? We can have DTU and all, right? So, but the point is that if they focus on bit set, yeah, VIT, triple E,
Hmm.
these kind of things, so they can easily crack other exams also. But yes, they
Hmm.
should be updated. They can, matlab, they should fill the form, right, on time. This is the
Okay.
important part.
Yes, a lot of
This is the
students miss
most
out on
important.
filling the forms and then they
Hmm.
wonder
Yeah.
after and then they worry that probably I could have filled the form.
And
So
we can
Yes.
Nivedita
we can
ma'am's
also share
advice
the
is,
link. We can also share the link of those exams.
yeah,
Hmm.
we'll put it in the
Along.
description.
No,
There is a list that
we'll
we
do
have
that.
prepared. We can put it in.
Hmm.
So see, one thing that Nivedita ma'am said is very important, that fill as many forms as possible. Don't worry about that. Whether I will be able to choose it or not can be a last minute decision. Write all the exams that are possible at this point of time. According to me, I will like to add one more point. Have a focus exam into place and one
Hmm.
fallback option. So for example, my focus exam can be JEE means 2 and my fallback exam
Hmm.
can be BitSet. Or my focus
Yeah.
exam can be JEE Advanced and then my fallback option can be BitSet or IIT.
Hmm.
So having this will give you a lot of leverage to not jump from exam to exam. Because I've seen that students acting like monkeys in this period of they will keep jumping on one exam to another. They will want to
Another.
cover the whole syllabus for every exam, and then ultimately what happens is none of the part of the syllabus getting well prepared.
Hmm.
So idea should be that from this exam to next exam, and keep a very tangible target that one or two topics I will prepare nicely. So
Hmm.
ultimately your syllabus progress is getting added up.
Anyway, like 90% of the syllabus must be overlapping in two different exams.
But what the
Yeah.
student will do is every time he will do
Hmm.
100% syllabus, but not well
Right.
prepared.
Hmm.
So what
Hmm.
will happen is that cumulative effect of not generating confidence across the topics will always be there.
Hmm.
Instead of that, you can from this exam to next exam. So let us say that from mains 1 to mains 2, I can focus on 2, 3 topics more and prepare them nicely.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So by the time I reach bitset attempt 2, I might have prepared 100% syllabus and then it will be critical there.
Hmm.
Hmm.
And here I will divide the exams into two parts. See, there are some exams which are not that much syllabus oriented. And there are exams that were very much syllabus oriented. For example, if I consider BITSET, VIT, these are those exams that will have high cutoff.
Hmm.
So 60 to 75% marks you will require to get into the college. And most of the times you will want to have the higher one because you will want computer science branch.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If you are focusing on 75% marks in the exam, I will want to do at least attempt 85% paper, 85% paper. And for attempting 85% paper, I should know 95% syllabus. So there is
Hmm.
no leverage in the exam in terms of selective preparation. You will have to prepare most of the syllabus in the exam. So if you have this idea of at least moving towards certain percentage of syllabus is getting well prepared as you move towards the bitset 2, it will largely benefit you as a student.
Hmm.
Hmm. What is the worst thing that you can do is every time you are doing 100% syllabus and not preparing well. This is the worst thing that you can do.
Yes.
But if you keep preparing few topics nicely and keep revising the old topics, the syllabus will get consolidated. And one of these exams you are going to crack. And
Yes.
it will not be all the exams for most of the students. One or two exams you are going to really excel in, there you can get admission.
Yeah.
And now you can choose your exams and based on your strengths. So for example, if I am good with solving difficult problems but bad with calculation and are slow with calculations, I should choose those exams which have lower cutoffs. Like JEE
Hmm.
Advanced
Hmm.
will have lower cutoff. And
Yes.
like IIT will have not that high cutoff, 50% cutoff is there.
Hmm.
These
Hmm.
exams will benefit you because they are playing on your strength. If I'm slow in calculation, if I choose bit set, it is a disaster for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Got it? So, but if I'm not good with difficult questions, but I can solve questions faster, easier questions faster, I can go for bit set, which is very good and falls in terms of ranking somewhere between all IITs only.
Hmm.
Yes.
So there is a bouquet of exams in front of you. If you can choose right based on your skill set, largely you will be end up cracking one of the exams.
And even they should know the pattern of the exams. Like in BitSet, especially in chemistry, we have so many memory-based questions. मतलब no
Yes.
calculation based question, so many memory based questions. So yes, they should focus on memory based topics more, and they
Hmm.
should do those types of question, because bit set में यही आएगा. Yeah,
So that
that's
is
the
the idea, na?
important
That is
part.
the idea of a core exam,
Pattern,
basically. You
yeah,
align your skill set with your core exam. If bit set is my core exam, I will study the pattern. I will align myself according to it. I will not
accordingly,
do
yeah,
those very difficult questions that will be asked in JEE Advanced. Now, there is no point in doing that then.
yeah.
Hmm.
But they should definitely focus on JEE mains too also. मतलब that is the primary.
That is, I
मतलब
think,
that should be
everybody
the
is doing.
primary, yeah. हाँ, because from JEE mains score they can get into very good colleges, है ना?
But like
JEE
for
mains
example,
score
if I am
से.
a student and there will be such
Hmm.
students in India, those who haven't done
Hmm.
any preparation. Every year they are.
Yeah.
So if I have not done
Yes.
any preparation, then choosing an exam with less difficulty would be more feasible.
Yes.
Hmm.
So if I have done extensive preparation, then choosing an exam with more difficulty would be more feasible for me, because
More.
then I
Yes.
am leveling things up based on my aptitude, largely speaking.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay, now let us come back to the fourth question of today, that is how to prepare for JEE Advanced at this point of time, since I have, let us say, give and take 106 days, and I have done well in
Hmm.
JEE Means 1, and if I want to go ahead and do JEE Advanced, then
Hmm.
what should be my strategy? So Puran sir, what should be the strategy in physics?
Anyway, we're going to discuss that in detail in the next podcast. But what
Yes.
they have to do again, it's a low scoring exam, so we have to focus on selected areas. Like
Hmm.
as you've already mentioned in physics, we have 10 to 12 topics which we have to
10
prepare
topics.
really in depth,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
from which
Hmm.
maximum amount of the questions will be coming. Around 70% of the questions will be coming from that only.
Got it.
So,
Got
so
it.
that is the idea. So we have to master those areas. So we have to
And can
divide.
you like suggest one reference book that would be very critical for most of the
Mhm.
students?
Right. So at this point of time, so again, there will be some selected problems from Irodov, so that they have to do.
Okay.
Hmm.
Irodov, they should follow, but not each question. So we can share the link of the selected questions in the
Okay.
description
Okay.
if they
Okay.
want to do that book. Apart from that, again, selected questions from HC Verma, they can target.
Hmm.
And again, last like 10 to 15 years PYQs, that is must.
Okay. That is must.
Hmm.
Neither
But
what do
right
you think?
now, sir, but
Yes.
एक minute, my counter question is there. But right now, the students cannot select questions on their own, na? Like they
That
need
is the
some
We,
thing.
I'm
guidance for
going
Saying
to
that.
that we will
we are
share
going to
the
select those questions, right?
अच्छा
for
अच्छा
them.
मतलब
So
okay
we'll
okay, you are
We will
going
share
to
share
the
the
give
link.
selected
We
the
will share the
questions.
link.
selected questions. Right,
We
right,
will share.
right, right. Yeah.
We are doing
Yes.
that activity for them.
Yeah. Okay, okay. So point is this कि like if I take the chemistry, right, part,
Hmm.
so in the chemistry अभी तो right now they cannot follow any kind of book, right? So
Hmm.
chemistry questions are very much similar if we see the past year's questions. So they're
PYQs.
yeah, they are asking question na, on the similar pattern. Right. If they are asking thermodynamics questions, so
But
the topic, the
I
question,
have seen over the years people recommending
huh.
Narendra Avasthi advanced problems that are
Narendra Avasthi, yeah. But point is that ki if they have solved Narendra Avasthi, yeah, MS Chauhan for advanced problems, right? So they can
Hmm.
go for it. But right
Okay.
now, if they want to start JEE advanced preparation, right? Like this is the
Yeah,
time if they want
I
to
think
start.
those
So
who have
that
not
is,
done JEE means, well, for like at
yeah.
least if you're not getting 95% marks in JEE means.
Mm,
And I'm saying
Hmm.
95, 93 for those students who are slow in calculation but good with concepts and concept application.
yes.
For those, they
Yes.
can
Then,
still crack JEE Advanced and they can come in 1000, 2000 rank. It is doable. But if I'm a JEE
hmm,
means student, Anna, who has
hmm,
gone with lesser percentile, but the aptitude is
hmm,
also good,
hmm.
then it does not make any
Yeah.
sense preparing until you have 97, 98 percentile.
Yeah, yeah. So then so
Yeah.
they can have so many books now. Like Neeraj Kumar, they can go for Neeraj Kumar for physical
Okay.
chemistry and all. Right.
Okay.
Organic chemistry may if they do MS Transit, then they can do almost so matlab, they can do almost every type of questions if they solve
Got it.
MS One, because in MS
Got it.
One they have so many questions, right?
Got it.
So otherwise they can take book from Balaji publication, Balaji for organic chemistry, right? Advanced organic chemistry. So there are so many books. If
Got
they
it.
want to solve, they can go for it. But I mean, right now, if they don't have any idea, so they should start solving the PYQs to get the idea like what type of questions are coming,
Hmm.
and then they can solve the questions accordingly from the
Got it.
textbooks.
Got it.
That
Understood.
is the important part. And again, like in physics and maths for chemistry advanced, they should not focus on every topic. Not
Okay.
every topic is important. Yes, they should focus on very important topic which can cover 70% of the syllabus.
Got it.
Ultimately, they should not score 100 marks, na. मतलब complete 100% they should not score, right? It means they should score better percentage, so then they can easily crack the
Got it.
advanced part.
So what I understand is basically based on this discussion, I will summarize it up. So one thing for sure is basically students who are getting lesser percentile but have good grip or solving problems, but are not getting good percentile in JEE means because of speed, are ideal candidates to crack JEE Advanced. So they should keep their head up and keep trying. If I am a student who has not that ability but still was able to score 98 percentile at least, then I am one of the persons who can crack the JEE Advanced as well, because I have that competitive advantage. And so these are the students who should think of preparing for JEE Advanced. Second category of student, now how to go about it. So my recommendation is focus on 70% syllabus. And we are going to do a podcast just for JEE Advanced. So we are going to discuss more in detail in that. Make a 15-week strategy, figure out the topics. Your strategy should have equal amount of time for physics, chemistry, mathematics. So 2 days physics, 2 days chemistry, 2 days mathematics, and a test on the weekend. Now, this strategy should also include solving PYQs because all three of us are recommending that. And that can be covered from topic to topic wise also, or paper to paper wise also. So I can also write one JEE Advanced paper on a weekly basis and complete 15 years previous year paper in that manner. Or I can do it from topic to topic. That is, both are fine strategies, largely. I should focus on one reference book to develop that creative problem solving ability. Problem survey is not possible in JEE Advanced. If I can creatively understand how to connect topics and solve a problem, that is the maximum I can do. Okay, and again, we are going to delve deeper into it. So that day we will see how it goes. So if we conclude what we have discussed till now, the conclusion can be in 3-4 parts. The first part is, if you are a student at this point of time, board should be your priority. And we all three believe in this idea that 75% get marks in board should be essential. Now, based on your preference or based on your preparation, you can choose how much time to give to either means 2 or advanced. It will also depend upon your performance in means 1. So if your means pre-board performance is really good, you can give more time to means 2 and advanced. If it is not that good, then you should focus on your board exams and get marks there. Now, let us say that you are done excellently well in your means 1, then you can directly jump on to advanced preparation. And if it's one of those students whose calculation is little bit slow, then definitely you should prepare for advanced. But every student should ultimately also decide what is my primary exam and what in which exam I have got the best chance to crack it, and those exams should be our target exams. Fixing target exams and working towards them are very good idea in cracking most of the exams. You can write all the exams that are happening using the same preparation rather than jumping from one exam to another. We all also agree that writing mock test paper corresponding to whatever exam you are writing will give you the understanding of the pattern of the exam. And some things will be important more compared to other, like in BITSAT, speed and syllabus coverage is important. In advanced, being focused on certain amount of syllabus and preparing it well is important. But writing mock test will help everywhere. And we are going to do a separate session on advanced. So we all welcome. We will want you to also listen to that podcast and understand, if I'm specifically focused on JEE Advanced, what should I do? We have already done a session on boards in which we have gone into the details of the board preparation, nitty-gritties of it. And if you watch that session, you will largely understand, if I'm a student at this point of time and doing board preparation, what exactly should be my strategy. So this was the discussion of what should be the next step for most of the students. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you, Puran sir, for coming for this session. Thank you, Nivedita ma'am, for contributing.
Thanks.
We will all meet again for the advanced discussion next time.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Okay.
See you until then. Bye.